Nagakura's men returned as the sun was setting.
Oh, we're back, Chizuru.
Oh, Nagakura, Harada, welcome back. So how was it? Did you find out who the culprit was?
Unfortunately, we weren't able to get any clues. However, we were able to recover the bodies of those who were murdered in the attack, so for that it was worth going. Forget that. How's Kondo doing? Is his condition any better?
Actually, he has a high fever. He can't talk right now.
That doesn't sound good. Wouldn't it be better for us to send him to a facility that has more stuff than here to treat him?
Kondo's got the worst luck, huh? Okita? Huh? What's the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost. Well, it's true that I'm a monster, though. I thought that something must have been off for Okita to joke so lightheartedly like that. What's gotten over you? Nothing, really. Do I look different than normal? Well, I'm not saying that. The grin was still there, and I wasn't quite sure how to respond to it. Could he really just laugh off something that so obviously had changed him? Plus, you were, like, threatening death to your commander, like, 2 seconds ago. Oh yeah, I gotta go talk to Heisuke about something. Think you could just wait here? Of course. Shinpachi, Sano, I'll see you guys later, alright? Take care of Kondo for me. I sighed as I watched him head off toward the back of the compound. I don't trust him. He's up to something. Later, I was with Yamazaki discussing what to do from now, and I returned to the common room. With nothing to do, I let my gaze shift up toward the star-specked sky to watch thin clouds drift across the moon. I didn't realize how long I'd been standing there until Heisuke ran up to me. Yes? Hey, Chizuru! Are you here, Chizuru? What's wrong? Have you seen Souji? I can't find him anywhere. What? What had he meant? I knew that he was being suspicious. Something felt wrong. I didn't like it. He went to look for you. Me? You're lying, right? I've been on duty at my station for, well, all night. I never saw Souji. What? Something was definitely wrong. Heisuke, could you tell Hijikata that Okita's gone missing? I have a very bad feeling about this. Yeah, same here. I mean, especially with Kondo being shot and all. Damn, is he alright? I hope he won't be rash. That's like saying you hope the sun won't come up tomorrow. Heisuke muttered under his breath as he scurried towards Hijikata's room. What should I do? I knew that I wasn't supposed to go out on my own without express permission from Hijikata, but I recalled how Okita was behaving earlier this afternoon. He seemed so eerily calm, despite what had happened to Kondo. I couldn't just leave Okita out there by himself. I lost myself and ran out the door. I gotta go save that idiot from doing something rash. Somehow. It didn't matter to me that I was running out of breath, and I just ran and ran through the night. In the middle of a dim pathway, I had finally found him. His sword was drawn, being swung delicately in his hand, but his fierce eyes weren't playing around. Okita moved swiftly between a group of warriors, piercing a man in his throat before sliding to slice the leg of the man standing right behind him. I hope you're not just killing indiscriminately. He didn't even bother to wipe the blood off. He just swung and swung and swung. His technique. Oh no, is that Okita? Of the Shinsengumi? That's right. It's a bit too late for you now, though. Wish you'd have caught on before I'm about to murder you. Technically, he did catch on. Okita from the Shinsengumi is here! Retreat! You guys are real stupid. Do you really think I'm about to let any of you go? There was no hesitation in his movements. So stop! Even the Satsuma, skilled warriors in their own right, were no match against Okita. The man fighting in the street before me was no human. He was an engine of slaughter. Okita! There was no escape. Okita's skill as a human was practically speed and strength of a fury. He became a force of nature. Not one of the men before him would leave that street alive. I was trying to figure out how that sentence was supposed to be read, and then I just gave up. As the last fell, he slid his sword, still wet with blood, back into its sheath and turned in search of his next victim. Okita! I threw myself into his path. Enough's enough! What are you doing here? His gaze was almost sharp enough to draw blood. Okita's aura was radiating with a killer's intent. I almost froze in fear. I came to stop you. His expression twisted into something halfway between stunned surprise and disgust. You. Stop me. I'm just doing my job. You don't get to tell me to stop. There was a cold fury beneath his words that made my throat tighten. Is this really going to help the Shinsengumi? Obviously. My job is to kill our enemies. If you really think it's your duty to kill all these men like this, then why did you leave without telling anyone? You already know, don't you? This is wrong. Are you trying to say you think I'm doing this for my own reasons, not the Shinsengumi? Yes, I am. He wanted to kill anyone who'd had a hand in the attack on Kondo. That was his reason, I knew it. Let's say you're right. What's wrong with me doing what I'm doing? Well, it's my duty to kill. So long as the result's the same, what's it matter if I get there a little differently? How should I answer this? I don't think bringing up Kondo is the right thing. He said to us multiple times, I don't want you speaking for Kondo and what he thinks and feels. And it's time for you to, realize that I care about you, so I'm gonna say I want you to do the right thing, and hope. Okita. It wasn't easy to say what I wanted to, but I pushed forward. If I happened to let the wrong thing slip, it may give him the wrong impression from me. But I still felt like he needed to hear this. You said yourself that it was your decision to drink the water of life. That this was the path you chose, to be a fury. Maybe I did. So? His glare didn't waver. If you believe in the path you chose, then shouldn't you be trying to follow it the right way? I don't know what you're talking about. He looked down and I was surprised to see pain on his face. I'm a weapon. All I can do is kill people. I never worried about the notion of what's right or what's wrong. I just killed people, no matter who it was, as long as it was what Kondo wanted. That's how I've been living my whole life. Although his stubbornness was showing, I could see the emotions pooling in his eyes as if this were difficult for him to talk about. I didn't know what kind of life he had lived up until this point, or what kind of thoughts were drifting and colliding inside of him to bring these emotions out enough for him to say it aloud. But if you just think of yourself as a weapon... I took a deep breath. I think that's fine. If he wants to live as the Shinsengumi sword, it wasn't my place to say otherwise. I knew that, but I don't think you should lie to your own heart. My own heart? I think I understand how you feel. Kondo is really important to you. Okita loved Kondo like a brother. How could he simply sit by and do nothing after seeing someone he cared about nearly killed? Sitting by his bedside all day isn't going to make him heal any faster. And protecting the magistrate's office isn't going to save Kondo no matter what you do. Okita must have felt helpless, and so he turned to the one thing that could give him the control over life and death he so greatly desired: battle. I truly understand how you feel. But please, don't lose sight of who you are. Is it really your duty to let your emotions control you? Is that the kind of warrior you are? The fact that you can only kill people, do you really think that's all you have going for yourself? Okita stared down at me as if I were the most irritating thing in the world for him to look at. But eventually... Chizuru, you keep this up and I might really kill you this time. How many times had I heard him say he would kill me? Okita! Can you get out of my way already? I hate how all you people act as if you know everything about me and how I feel. Behind the cold ice of his gaze, I could sense a man who would kill without a second thought. Perhaps this would be the time he finally made good on that threat. But even so, I had to stop him. I won't move. If he let his emotions get the better of him, he would surely regret it later, and I couldn't bear to think of him suffering like that. Even if it meant I had to put my life on the line, I would stop him. If you really want to go, then you'll have to kill me first. His eyes bored into mine, and for several very long seconds, neither of us spoke. He could have easily killed me with the sword in his right hand. But his eyelashes shook faintly. Whew! Thank goodness we got that full bloom. Why the hell did you do that? No one would praise you for risking your life to stop a guy like me. They just think you're dumb. But why? I can't just forget about you. You're nuts, you know that. Was I imagining things? His words didn't seem to have the usual snide edge attached to them. Just as the silence began to stretch to uncomfortable levels, I heard a voice.
Hey, the guy over there is Souji, right?
This voice. Thanks, guys.
I finally found you. You've come all the way here?
Harada, Saito!
Souji. This is too much, even for you. What were you going to do if people of other domains saw you?
Pfft, I'm not dumb enough to get caught. Don't underestimate me.
I understand where you're coming from. Kondo's fever had broken. He'll be fine.
Really? Oh, that's some good news.
If you don't believe me, why don't you go back to the magistrate and see for yourself?
Okay. Isn't that a relief, Okita? Are you sure, Hajime? Is Kondo really...
I think you, of all people, know how I would never joke about a thing like this. Just do not ever act out and worry the chief like that again.
Oh, so Kondo's okay then. I'm glad. He looked like he couldn't find any other words. I saw his shoulders relax.
I expect this sort of thing from Souji, but you... You need to remember to think before you act, Chizuru.
Under Harada's hard gaze, I suddenly remembered that I'd left the compound without permission. I'm sorry. No sooner were the words out of my mouth than we heard the frantic tweeting of a whistle from some distance away.
Looks like they found us. We need to get out of here before they show up.
Yes! We ran as fast as we could toward the Fushimi magistrate's office. Well, that was exciting. When we returned, Hijikata was waiting for us. He was not pleased.
Idiots.
Although his words were rough, it looked like Hijikata was relieved. He must have been worried about us, especially Okita.
I'll let it slide this time, but don't ever do this again. Understand?
What a coincidence, Hijikata. I was just thinking the same thing. Since Kondo's gonna be fine, I thought I'd let you off this time.
That's so. Gee, thanks.
But don't think that means I forgive you. Kondo, you need to slap this boy in the head. As he finished, Okita's voice suddenly turned harsh, and he then spun on his heel and stormed from the room. I had left the compounds without approval. I wasn't sure, though, if it meant that I'd be held responsible as well. My heart was pounding.
If Souji hadn't disappeared, you wouldn't have left, right?
Yes.
Then this is his fault. I let him slide for now, so there's no way I can punish you. Get some rest. You haven't slept much today.
Oh. I didn't know how to respond. Hijikata wasn't usually nice. Thank you, Hijikata. I bowed and turned to leave. Nearly at the door and almost out of earshot, I heard him murmur to himself.
So it's all my fault, huh?
No, it's not your fault! It's nobody's fault that he got shot, except for the guy who shot him. That's it. And whoever ordered the shot. Bleh. The next day, December 10th, I didn't wake up until evening had arrived. I must have been more tired than I thought. It was nearly time for the night shift to begin, so I leapt into my clothes and dashed out of my room. Okita? What is it? Do you know where Kondo is? I went to check up on him and I didn't see him. He's gone to visit Dr. Matsumoto in Osaka. Dr. Matsumoto? Yep. So in the meantime, Hijikata's in charge of the troops. But I guess since Dr. Matsumoto's going to be the one to watch over Kondo, I don't have to worry. Even though he's a real hard-ass and gets on my case about stuff, he's still a good doctor. Gets on your case? Okita, that's not it. He's very worried about your health. I know. Doesn't change the fact that he gets on my case too much. It looked as if Okita had calmed down, but only the day before he'd run off all on his own. I had to keep my guard up. No sooner had I spoken than a gunshot shattered the night air. I saw Okita's jaw clench. Okita, no! I rushed to stop Okita, but several more gunshots went off in succession, almost as if they were provoking us. Sorry. He dashed by me and ran off toward the sound of gunfire. Okita! I ran after him. We're all gonna die. Why'd you come after me? It's dangerous. Why don't you stay at the magistrate? Well, it's because... Well, obviously, I'm worried. I just stopped him the other night. I'm worried about you, Okita. Because I was worried about you, Okita. I'm not so weak that I need you worrying about me now, too. I mean, sure, I was ill just a little while ago, but now I'm fine. I understand that, but just know, I was worried. I was sure my feelings were nothing but a burden for Okita, but that didn't mean I could just walk out on him either. Well, I'm glad you're glad that I care about you. This is a weird time to be having this conversation, but okay. You're really something, you know that. Huh? expected him to be sneering over me with a cold expression, but... Come on, let's hurry. Whoever shot Kondo might be in the direction of the gunshot. Oh, wait! Wait for me! My breaths were quick and staggered as we ran through the chilly Kyoto evening. It seemed as though many civilians had been frightened from the sounds of battle, so many homes were shut and locked. There were no signs of people anywhere. Oh no! That guy. Hey, you there! Oh shit. Okita picked up something in his periphery and he disappeared into the alleyway. I rushed to follow him. It's my Oni-san. Should I say, long time no see? Was it you who shot Kondo? Okita brooded with a silent, murderous glare. As I looked to see at whom Okita was glaring. Kaoru!
Why the sudden change of heart?
Huh?
The last time you saw me, you called me your enemy. And yet I'm still Kaoru to you? So patronizing. I can't stand you.
I bit my lip. It was Kaoru who tricked Okita into drinking the water of life, but he was still my brother. I knew he was not a good person, but... Okita, on the other hand, seemed to have no such reservations. Answer my question. Or do I need to make you talk? With my sword, that is.
You're accusing me without evidence. Humans are so... yes, I think I do remember. I ran into some men from the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb.
Guardians of the Imperial Tomb?
They wanted to avenge Ito. You remember him? The man you deceived and murdered. Unfortunately, they didn't have the courage to attack the magistrate's office. I may have suggested they wait on a particular road on a particular day.
Then... you!
Oh, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean for him to be hurt. I just never thought the chief of the Shinsengumi would be such an idiot. Only 3 guards? Why, he was practically asking to be shot.
Damn you! Okita snarled, and I saw his body tense to attack. So did Kaoru, and with another cruel grin, he snapped his fingers. From the shadows, men suddenly appeared. What? Okita and I stood for a moment, stunned by surprise, and Kaoru took that opportunity to put some distance between us. That's a pretty obvious trap. Yeah, didn't this happen before when I chased you as a woman?
Oh, somebody's just sour grapes. Your lives are in a precarious state.
Both of them wore cynical, twisted grins. They glared at one another. I inched my hand toward my sword. I didn't know how much I'd be able to do, but I wouldn't go down without a fight.
Still, you are Okito the Shinsengumi. I don't think we can shoot you quite so easily.
Huh? Why was Kaoru doing this? What could he be thinking? Your tone's kinda pissing me off, kid. If you got something to say, how about you just say it?
Oh, I wasn't talking to you. I was just suggesting that these fine gentlemen shoot the weaker target first.
Oh! As he spoke, I suddenly realized all the guns were pointed towards me. Such a shady piece of shit. Gonna rely on some cheap tricks, huh?
Call me what you want.
The guns exploded with noise. No! If we were this surrounded, there was no way the both of us could dodge them all. So Souji took the bullets for you. I can heal! I can probably heal better than you can. Don't do this. Ah! Something blocked my vision. No. Why would you do this? Suddenly, he was standing in front of me. All of the bullets that should have hit me were taken by him. Okita? Why? Why would you do that? I was speechless. Blood was already beginning to pour from his body. The sight of him tattered in bullet holes tore my heart apart, but he'd endured the pain, turning around to look at me. You hurt. No! No, I'm fine! You took them all! Good. He smiled out of relief. He wavered, then collapsed to the ground in a heap. Okita! 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 So he could get horribly wounded, but as long as I wasn't hurt, it was okay? It's not okay! It's not okay at all! I felt my vision start to blur and realized suddenly that I was crying. My voice broke as I tried to speak. If you get hurt, that makes me sad too! It kills me to see you hurt, just as much as it kills you to see Kondo hurt! I kept calling his name, but he didn't answer. He was still breathing, but each breath drew a pained groan from his chest. Okita! If it were just shallow wounds from the bullets, then it shouldn't be too serious, but if his vital organs were hurt, then his life would undoubtedly be in danger. It was only then that I heard Kaoru's laughter.
What an idiot. Well, he did just what I expected him to.
You. The blood drained from my face. You were trying to shoot him the whole time, weren't you?
You tell me. Okita got hurt pretty bad because of you, didn't he? He sure is a dumbass for protecting a useless person like you.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but I had no rebuttal. If I hadn't been there, then Okita wouldn't have been hurt. He never would have been shot, and he might have even been able to fight his way out of Kaoru's trap. But I had been there, and now he was dying, and it was all my fault. Kaoru's smile was suddenly gone.
You need to suffer more.
At Kaoru's signal, the men drew back.
I won't kill you, either of you, so easily. I'm looking forward to our next meeting, dear sister.
Damn you! The words were out of my mouth before I realized I was saying them. Kaoru turned to look over his shoulder at me and smiled.
If you could just see your face, hear your voice. The more despair and anger you feel, the more you look like me. How could there be any doubt that we're brother and sister?
With one last horrible smile, Kaoru and his men disappeared into the night. After what seemed like an eternity, I heard the murmur of voices. It was the Shinsengumi soldiers who'd been sent out to investigate the gunshots. Sheesh. We carried the barely conscious Okita back to the magistrate's office together.
Okita was shot.
Yes.
Even if they were using the newest revolvers, that shouldn't be enough to put down a fury.
They probably had those revolvers, I realized. Each man had fired off several shots without reloading.
Even if the wound is deep, it's small. So long as we remove the bullet, the wound should heal.
But why won't Okita wake up then?
I'm not sure. There might be something in the bullets, or the guns those soldiers were using, or...
We kept tending to his scars, but Okita's wounds weren't healing. He'd fallen into unconsciousness and continued bleeding even after the bullets were removed. Hichikata called me into his room.
Hey, sorry for calling you over here.
It's fine.
You see, I discussed this with Sanan. We're going to move Souji to Osaka Castle.
A stronghold of the shogunate built by Hideyoshi Toyotomi during the Warring States period in order to surpass Nobunaga's Azuchi Castle. It was considered impregnable. Osaka Castle?
Yeah, Dr. Matsumoto's already there, and he has everything we need for Soji's recovery. Oh. I wanted so badly to be by Okita's side, but I knew that I needed to tend to the wounded here, including Yamazaki. When did Yamazaki get hurt? If I leave Okita to Dr. Matsumoto, I think everything will be alright. As I turn these thoughts over in my mind... Yukimura, I want you to go to Osaka with Souji. What? I wasn't expecting this. My eyes grew wide. I can go with Okita? You don't want to? No, it's not that at all. I was just wondering why, though. Kyoto will be a battlefield soon enough. If you stick around here, I'm worried you'll be sucked into the worst of it. Most of all, if I leave Souji unattended, who knows what he'll try to pull. Hijikata. I almost cried. I was so thankful for him. I could still be with Okita. Thank you. Thank you. So much. I bowed deeply to Hijikata.